You spend 2.5 days per year doing this. Is it standing in front of the fridge, choosing what to watch, or just looking for lost stuff? All that's frustrating. Sarah has an elderly patient who's suffering from a severe case of Alzheimer's, so he pretty much forgets everything except one thing every single morning, and I think it's gonna make you smile. I should do this before I Google it. I should pray about it, but what do you do when you have a problem? You search online. How to make sure you find the answer to your problem the first time you search, well, that can level up your life. And if you've ever felt like you should be further in life than you are now, something to encourage you, to help you keep going. That's coming up on The Good News Show with Andy, where I'm all about putting a smile on your face and hope in your heart.
The Good News Show with Andy.
The number of the day is...
What a waste. You're going to spend 2.5 days this year just doing this one simple thing, looking for lost stuff. And it doesn't matter, big or small, God cares about it all. So I'm trying to do this more in my life. Pray. God, I need to find my keys, my wallet, my kid's science project. And God shows up in some pretty cool ways, so let me know if he's helped you with a lost and found story. On average, you're gonna spend 2.5 days this year looking for lost stuff. This might help speed up the process, or at least put you at peace when you lose things. Give it to God, pray. Say, God, help me, like Vicky did.
I have this beautiful diamond cross necklace, and I'd only had it for a couple of days, and I noticed my cross was gone. I searched all day. Then I went to bed that night and I said, God, if whoever finds this cross, if they love you more than me, then they should have it. The next morning at 6:30, I got a phone call. They had found it at a restaurant, and the carpet cleaner found it. So it could have easily even gone up in the carpet.
I love the idea that you gave it to God and said, all right, if this is not supposed to happen, then it's yours. And I think I forget that step a lot of times, and it's almost like God waits for you to give it to him before he gives it back to you. If you lose something and you don't find it right away, it doesn't necessarily mean it's lost forever. God has an incredible way of showing up at the right time.
Hi, I was calling with a lost and found story.
Oh, go for it.
Well, my husband and I, we were vacationing. We had been married for about 6 months, and we went to a golf course. And while we were golfing, I looked down and realized that the diamond from my wedding ring had fallen out. 2 weeks after we got home, there was a message, and it was a guy calling saying he had been out golfing at a course and found a diamond. We sent him a thank you, and we put a little cash in there. He sent us a letter back saying that he didn't feel that accepting the cash was the right thing to do, so he took our cash reward, and it was right at Christmas time, so he said he kept putting money into the Salvation Army buckets when he was out and about.
Now, I'm sure you've heard this before, but I haven't said it to you yet. It definitely feels like you found a diamond in the rough.
I hope this story makes you smile today.
Sarah has an elderly patient who's suffering from a severe case of Alzheimer's. He can rarely remember his own name, and he often forgets where he is and what he said just a few minutes beforehand. But he remembers who his wife is every morning when she shows up to spend a few hours with him. He usually greets her by saying, "Hello, my beautiful Kate." Sarah says, it's the miracle of love.
You are awesome.
They give and they give when they're running on empty. They make your hard days feel a little softer. And they love you even when nobody else gets you. So if you are a mom,
You are awesome.
his 12-year-old daughter was deathly ill. So this guy in God's word asks Jesus to come to his house to heal her. As Jesus was on his way, someone sends word from their house, your daughter's passed. There's no use troubling Jesus now. But Jesus overhears their conversation and says, don't be afraid. Just have faith. Jesus knew the healing they had hoped for was coming soon. And I believe that the fact you're listening right now means that's the same for you right now. Jesus wants you to know that hope is coming soon for you. And all you have to do is not be afraid. Just have faith. It's the first thing you do when you've got a problem. You go to Google because Google's got all the answers. Well, here's how to make sure you get the right answer the first time and level up your life. Go to Google with your problem and then add solved to the end of the search to find the answer much faster. God can use you anytime, anywhere, even on vacation.
There was a situation where I had found a cell phone in a taxi cab. I didn't feel comfortable giving it to the taxi person. So as I got out, I said, God, help me to get this back to the owner. So I went out and had dinner, and this was in New York City. And the phone rang, and so I answered it. And the woman said, hello. I said, hello. I said, did you lose your phone? She goes, yes. And when she came, she was so thankful. She wanted to pay for my dinner. And I said, no, ma'am. I said, you can pay me back by paying it forward.
You might believe that you just can't keep holding on. It's like those action movies where the superstar is hanging off the cliff. And finger by finger is just slowly slipping, and you're wondering, are they going to be able to get that person and save them before time runs out? Well, here's what God's word says about holding on when you feel like you can't. That he'll give you strength if you have none. He'll renew your strength if you only have a little. If you give him your burdens, he will keep you going. And he's always at your right hand, so you won't be moved. It's frustrating when things just don't make sense to you and you think, I should know this by now. It's called the curse of competency, and it's your daily joy scroll.
If you're good at things and have high standards, you assume you should always do well, which means that success isn't a cause for celebration, but it's the minimum level of reasonable performance. Anything less than victory would be a failure, and victory itself becomes nothing more than acceptable.
It's okay to embrace that you're not going to be able to do everything and not do everything well. Bet you've heard this so many times. You got to love God and love others. And I know you do a great job of that. You give grace to people, maybe even when they don't deserve it. But if you still feel like something's missing, this might be it. Think about the one person missing in that equation. Loving God, yes. Loving others, yes. But that person in the mirror, somebody put it this way. If Jesus wouldn't say it to you, you shouldn't say it to yourself. If you won $1 million right now in this moment, when you woke up in the morning, your breakfast would taste worse. People that won a bunch of money were asked how they enjoyed everyday things after they won the money. Eating breakfast, hearing a joke, watching TV, buying clothes. In every single one of those everyday categories, they enjoyed it less. It's almost like the answer to the problems that we have is not money. I'm working on that one. Sharing Jesus can feel awkward sometimes. What if it didn't have to be?
I used to work at the Chevy dealer, and I would turn everybody's radio station to the station, hoping that they might just catch the message.
Now, you might not work at a car place where you could do that, but what if you shared this encouragement, this station, with one person today? Prayer is not as hard as you think. It's not. It's not as complicated either. You can pray in a pew or pajamas, in traffic, in tears, or in total silence. See, God doesn't need a location. He just needs an invitation.